Hello and welcome back to Boxing Social in association with Betfred. My name is Ayman. With me is the one and only Fabio Wardley, who will be featuring on the undercard of Chisora Pulev 2. Fabio, we just concluded the press conference there. Your reaction to that's got spicy at the end.
Yeah, a little bit spicy, but it's probably what you expected, to be honest with them two. I didn't think, you know what they're like. They're both big characters, got a lot of energy, and once one gets going, it starts the other off. So that's what you saw, and I think you're going to see a lot more on Saturday night.
We're also going to see you in action, first of all. Big sponsor on board, Ipswich Town Football Club, your hometown there. Talk to me about that link-up.
The club has been brilliant, to be honest. They've been fantastic. They've been on board. They've been on board from near on day one in a more kind of reserved capacity, supporting, wanting to get me to games, do pitch walks, promoting me on social media in terms of sharing posts and things like that. But now they're involved. They're fully on board. They're on the kits. They're on here, as you can see, and they want to do as much as they can for me and build that kind of that homegrown support. So, yeah, I think it's kind of the perfect link up, to be honest.
Kingsley Ibeh is the opponent at the weekend. Didn't know who the opponent was coming in, but we got the opponent sorted now. Talk to me about kind of how that happened and how you ended on Kingsley as the opponent.
Yeah, we had quite a few dropouts. I think we had about 3 or 4 that were like literally signed, done, nope, someone new, signed, done, nope, someone new. So a bit of a tedious process, but then obviously we end up with Kingsley, which is a good opponent. He's a good opponent at short notice like that. It's good to have someone like that. I'm glad it's not just a washover, to be honest, because Kingsley's good. He's durable, he's strong, he's wily as well. He's difficult to kind of pin down as to what he's going to do, how he's going to come at you. He's had some good fights. He took Guido Vianello the distance, which is obviously interesting, and he got a draw out of that as well. He went 6 with Jared Anderson, who's obviously a top prospect in America. So he's there, he's durable, he's game. So it's just about what he's going to bring on Saturday night.
We've seen you in past performances be destructive in the ring. Are you looking to maybe kind of show a bit more of yourself in terms of boxing and maybe kind of get the destructive finish, but take it a few rounds before you get there?
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. It's not that people will talk about my KO ratio and knocking people out and getting them out there, and great, yeah, I do that. But also, I want to box. I want to have a much cleaner performance in terms of my style, my stance, the way I control myself in the ring generalship, things like that. Those are a lot of the finer details that we've been working on now. We know the power's there, that's fine. If that's plan B, then that's plan B, but we need to prioritise plan A now in terms of having a real good, solid base of a foundation of a boxing.
British title fight, it's an interesting equation. There may be movement with it. You mentioned in the last interview about an interview happened on Boxing Social. We spoke to Joe Joyce about the situation. It seems to me, and when we spoke to Joe, that they'll be vacating that title soon. What's your understanding of the situation?
None. I know that the board called the fight for me and Nathan Gorman, but they called it for my English, which is pretty silly because it's very obvious that me and Nathan are both very past that. I obviously still hold on to the English, but I'm done with it. I've got no interest in it. I'll drop it, vacate it, that's fine. So after I drop mine, after Joyce drops his, then we can start pushing to the board and say, right, cool. So you think Nathan versus me is a good fight? Make it for the right belt.
Do you feel that then, with that, knowing that Joe's wanting to vacate it comes a little bit closer and it's likely to happen maybe towards the end of this year?
Yeah, I think at the back end of the year. Because I think Gorman may even want another fight in between, because before he had quite a long layoff, maybe about 18 months, something like that. And then obviously he did fight the other day, but it lasted a round or something. So that's not really enough to shake off any real ring rust. The opponent didn't really give him anything to work with. He just blitzed through him. So that's kind of not what you want in terms of building yourself up to go into a British title fight. So, yeah, I think maybe Gorman will want one just after, and then we'll do it back end of the year, maybe November time, something like that.
A couple of things I want to breeze through and get your thoughts on. Chisora Pulev 2, how do you see that fight going?
I think it's going to be a hard fight for Chisora. It will, don't get me wrong. He makes fights hard for himself as well. He likes that. That's what he thrives on. But especially with Pulev, he is quite a smart fighter, so I think you will see that in there. But I think at some point you're going to see them just go toe-to-toe. You saw their moments in the Joshua fight. They happened as well. I think just being in the ring with Chisora pulls that out in you. It makes you want to get stuck into someone. So that's what I think is going to happen on the night.
You've had the Usyk AJ2 multiple face-offs now for the rematch fight. A lot of people take things from it when they watch it, like Usyk's this or AJ's this? What have you taken from the face-offs?
Not much. Not much. I don't really take much from that. I think it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all game, especially with someone like Usyk. He's 90% of the time he's there for a laugh. He's there to piss about and have a joke. I know the man. I've spent a lot of time around him. He barely takes himself seriously, let alone the fight. Like, in terms of those moments, he's just there for the cameras to have fun, enjoy the time, enjoy the moment. I don't think it has any bearing on his training, the way he's going to go into the fight, the way he approaches anything. I think it's just him having a good time with it.
Dylan Whyte, a lot of people are looking for, wanting to know what his next move is. What do you know?
Not much. I know about as much as everyone else. I spoke to him the other day and just checked in, said how's things, how you going? He did the same with me, asked how everything was, and everything's cool. He's just back in the gym, back in Portugal, training hard as he always does, getting stuck in and is just getting ready for another fight. He likes to get into his camps really early. He hasn't got nothing scheduled in, he hasn't got no real plan set in place or anything, but I think in the coming months you'll hear a bit more from him, and then he'll obviously announce something, but I think back end of the year, maybe October time, probably something like that.
A lot of people looking to fight Dylan. Two of the loudest have been Joe Joyce and most recently Jarrell Miller. Your thoughts on those two?
I think Jarrell Miller should be out of the equation completely for obvious reasons. I think he should be out of boxing completely for obvious reasons. But Joe Joyce, yeah, a good fight, but I think he's got his eyes set on that kind of. He had some sort of not final eliminator, but he was obviously in line for a world title shot or something like that. So I don't know if that could be made and that still be the place. Then yeah, it makes sense for a deal to happen to have that fight, and then whoever wins gets the world title shot. Then yeah, definitely, I think that's a good idea.
One thing for me, Fabio, King's Ibeh, Saturday night. What happens when you step in the ring with him?
He ends up on his back.
Fabio, thank you so much for speaking to Boxing Social.